I really hope that I'm ready for this.
Welcome back to the Nerdy Grail, and this is a long-awaited follow-up to a video that I did about 2 months ago. So back on the 5th of January, I decided, as one of my first videos of the year, to rank every single Hell of a Boss episode in my personal opinion, but I did say that I potentially might follow it up and do a Hazbin Hotel variant for Season 1 in order to fill the gap between Season 1 and Season 2, because I'm sure at some point we're going to get some trailers or teasers. So to fill the gap, I thought in today's video, I will rank all the episodes that we've had so far from Season 1 of Hazbin Hotel, from worst to best, in my personal opinion. And I will also be including the pilot episode in this as well, so there'll be 9 total episodes that I will be ranking, and I thought it'd be a bit fun to go back and do it in a tier list format, just to mix it up a little bit. But keep in mind, before I do this, this is my personal opinion, so if your favourite episode is quite low on this list, that's perfectly fine. We're all entitled to our opinion. This is just my personal opinion based on my personal enjoyment of the episodes. So let's waste no more time and jump straight into this tier list, ranking every episode so far from Season 1 of Hazbin Hotel, from worst to best. Okay then, so it's finally time to do this tier list of me ranking every Hazbin Hotel episode from worst to best. So as you can see on the tier list, I have separated it into 5 different sections. So number 9 down the bottom, so this will be my worst episode from Hazbin Hotel. Then places 7 and 8 will be here, 5 and 6 here, 3 and 4 here, and first and second place will be at the top. And we've got all the episodes down the bottom here, including the pilot episode. I've not put these in the order of that they're going to be on the list. I've just put them in chronological order, and I'll pick and choose them based on my list that I've got written down here. So, without any further ado, let's jump straight into what's going to be in 9th place on this list. This might upset some people. I know it will upset some people. But just hear me out, because this is my personal opinion. So my least favourite episode of Hazbin Hotel, and anyone who knows me or has heard my thoughts in previous videos talking about Hazbin Hotel related stuff, knows that I'm a fan of the first half of the series a lot more than the second half of the series. So like for me, episodes 1 to 4/5 is peak Hazbin Hotel, and then 6, 7 and 8 are good, but they just seem to teeter off a little bit for me. And my least favourite episode of Hazbin Hotel, so in 9th place, is actually episode 7 from season 1, titled Hello Rosie. So this is the episode where Charlie and Alistair go to Cannibal Town in order to get Rosie to help, Charlie build an army to fight off the angels who are incoming to slaughter them all, pretty much. There is some good moments in this episode, don't get me wrong. Like the song Ready for This, I actually think is not too bad of a song. Not my favourite song, but I think it's a fairly decent song. Rosie as a character is fairly enjoyable, I will say, and the design is really cool. And her relationship with Alistair is great. And I will say this obviously has the core aspect, which will come back in season 2, of the fact that Charlie has made a deal with Alistair, where he can ask for a favour of his choosing at any time, but she can't hurt anyone. So it's got, a core aspect which will come back later. But just for me, I don't know, I didn't really connect with this episode, and it sort of bored me a little bit, and we didn't really get to see a lot of the other characters, like Husk and Angel Dust and those sort of characters, and they're, who I enjoy the most, if I'm being perfectly honest. It was good, don't get me wrong, and that's what you're going to find with Hazbin Hotel, is I love every episode of Hazbin Hotel. So when I say my worst, it's just the least normal good. I still have enjoyment out of all of them. But yeah, Hello Rosie, for me, is my least favourite episode, and the one that I go back to rewatch the least. So then in 8th place is actually the pilot episode. So I'm going to move that by here so that we can put number 7 in here. So in 7th place is the pilot, which is titled That's Entertainment. Now, I know for a lot of people, they would probably put the pilot quite low, so you might not be totally shocked that it's this low. You might be shocked that it's above an actual episode from the core show, but I don't know, there's just something about the charm of the pilot that I think I can't quite put it at the bottom because, the pilot now is like 5 years old. I think it came out in 2019, and I watched the pilot after watching the series. So it was quite interesting going back to watch the pilot after watching the core series, knowing that some of the voice cast is different, the artistic style has changed and improved over time. I think it is really, really good for what it's worth and does set up the core aspect of the show really, really well. And some of the characters are still as quirky and as cool as they are in the real show, like Alistair, I think is still great. Husk is great as well. They're all good, but just obviously not as good as what they would go on to be. But then it's the pilot, it's just to give you a taste of what's to come. So it's not too bad. It is entertainment, as the title suggests, but it's just not overly for me. And again, not one that I go back to rewatch a lot. I had to go back and rewatch it for the purposes of this video, but I don't actively go back to watch the pilot. Then in number 7, so in 7th place, we've then got episode 6, titled Welcome to Heaven. As you can see, obviously, the second half of the series is my least favourite. This is an episode of two halves for me. One half of the episode I really like, and the other part I find dull and boring, even though it's, what we've been building up to this series. So obviously you've got Charlie and Vaggie who go up to heaven to speak to Adam, speak to Luke, speak to Sarah and Emily, in order to try and get them to see that the hotel is working through the eyes of angel dust, and so to stop the exterminations. That stuff for me, even though it's a core aspect of the series, was actually the most boring part for me. The songs were fine, but in terms of the actual plot of that part of the story, I wasn't a fan of. I was far more interested in what was going on with Serpentia, Snifty, Husk, Angel Dust, Cherry Bomb, who were all going out on the town, having a bit of fun. I thought it was hilarious. One of the biggest laughs in this series came from Welcome to Heaven. My fiance knows exactly what it is. It's the scene where Serpentius is constantly trying to flirt with Cherry Bomb, constantly making it awkward. And there's these rooms at the back where people can go back to have a bit of fun, sexual intercourse. And he awkwardly says about, will you do the sex with me? And then I burst out laughing when she questioned him, and then he said, because I'm having sex with everybody. That caused me to burst out laughing. I for about 10 minutes, I think I was wheezing. It was fantastic. And that's the charm that I really like. So for me, it's an episode of two halves. I much prefer that half than the stuff that's going on with Charlie and Vaggie. Even though this is the episode where Charlie finds out Vaggie's secret, that actually Vaggie was a fallen angel, and so the trust starts to break down a little bit between them. Then in 6th place so breaking into the 6th place on my list, we have put the finale, which is titled The Show Must Go On. Yeah, for a finale, it's alright. It's an average finale, there's nothing overly massive to criticise. It is in my lower half of the seat of my ranking. Just because I feel like I was expecting a little bit more, but obviously from the characters I was expecting to see stuff from, we're going to get that in season 2, and I think that was the point. I wanted to see the V's get involved as well, Velvet, Vox, and Valentino, but they don't. They watch on like most of Hell does. But it was a cool battle at the end, and Lucifer is fantastic. Getting to see him go ham on Adam was brilliant. The relationship between Charlie and Lucifer is amazing in this episode. I think it's brilliant. And getting to see Charlie use her demon powers a little bit more was also really good. And also it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen to Alistair, the fact they rebuilt the hotel. I don't know. I'm just really intrigued with what's going to happen. And yeah, it was a fairly decent episode, which is why it's almost middle of the road. But yeah, the last half of the series is my weakest half. Then in 5th place, so more or less the halfway point now, we have got the very first episode of Hazbin Hotel, of the core series, not including the pilot, we have got Overture. So, pretty simplistic episode. Not an awful lot happens, but yet a lot does happen. You get introduced to the characters again if you haven't watched the pilot, and they do it in an interesting way. It's all about Charlie establishing the hotel, establishing what they want to do with it, creating like an opening video to advertise the hotel. Charlie going to meet people like Adam in order to hopefully try and stop these exterminations that's going on. There's some fantastic songs, like Hell is Forever from Adam is an amazing song. Adam is such a horrible character, but in the most fun way possible. It is brilliant. But I love this episode, and I think it is really charming. And it just sits well with me, and I can just watch it time and time again, and it flies by because I'm having a good time. I really like Overture, and I think it's a fairly middle of the road, but in a good way, episode. Okay, so now we're getting into my favourite episodes of the series. So from here on out, I think every single one of these episodes is an absolute banger for me, and I love all of them. So in fourth place, it's going to episode 2, Radio Killed the Video Star, which is a fantastic episode, in particular because of the characters of Vox and the characters of Alistair. So you've got the song Stayed Gone in here, and that is a fantastic song where you really get to delve deep into the relationship between Vox and Alistair, which I hope that they're going to delve into massively in season 2. So I cannot wait for that. Getting to see Valentino. I love Valentino. Yeah, if you've seen my ranking of the Hazbin Hotel characters, Valentino is my favourite of the V's. Getting to see a little bit into the lives of the V's is also really, really good. You also get to see Serpentius join the Hazbin Hotel, which I love the character Serpentius. I think he's really, really cool. Really, really cute. You've got the song Sorry, or it starts with Sorry. I can never remember what it's titled, which I know my fiance's not a massive fan of, but I quite like it. I think it's quite quirky and fun, because originally Serpentius was sent in by the V's in order to sort of spy on everyone. He gets caught, but then gets incorporated into the hotel. It is really, really nice. But yeah, I like this episode, and that's why it's in 4th place on this list. So now we're into the top 3. So getting the bronze medal for me is actually season 1, episode 3, Scrambled Eggs. So yeah, this is again another story of 2 halves for me, where I really like the one half, but then I don't hate the other half like I did with Welcome to Heaven. I still like the other half, but I just like it a little bit less. So the one half, you've got Alistair, who takes the Egg Boys off to this Overlord meeting where they're discussing what's going to happen in terms of the best way to defend themselves against Heaven's next attack, where you get introduced to characters like Zestiel and Camilla Carmine. You get to meet these characters and how they play a role in Hell. You get to see Velvet a lot more in this episode, which is really, really good. With the song Respectless, which is a fantastic song. I love that song. And then the other half of the episode is about building trust with Serpentius, because not all the residents of the hotel, like Husk and Angel Dust and all, really truly trust Serpentius. So they do like trust building exercises, which I think is really, really funny, and they do a fantastic job of that, and I think it's entertaining. So again, you get to build on the characters of the hotel, and that's what I love more than anything, is just having fun with the residents of the Hazbin Hotel. And so episode 3 for me is brilliant. Then in silver medal position for me, so we've got 2 episodes left. My second favourite episode of Hazbin Hotel has got to go to Dad Beat Dad. And this is primarily because of the character of Lucifer. Lucifer is probably easily even my second or third favourite character of all of Hazbin Hotel, behind Husk and characters like Angel Dust and Valentino. But I love Lucifer. I think Lucifer's fantastic. I relate to Lucifer in a fair few ways, actually, to be fair, in terms of his personality and what he's like, his shy, anxious nature, wanting to do right by his daughter. I think it's fantastic. I love his rivalry with Alistair. I think it is brilliant. I love how they just hate each other's guts from the get-go. is brilliant. But it is nice to see his relationship with Charlie truly grow and blossom in this episode, because you didn't know what to expect from Lucifer at the start of the series, but then when he comes into it, he isn't exactly what you would expect Lucifer to be like, but he is more what you would want in terms of this series. His characterization is really, really good, and I really, really like it and find him thoroughly entertaining. So I absolutely love it. All the characters are on top form in this episode. The pacing is brilliant. I've probably watched this episode many, many, many times. I'd say the top 3 to 4 I've probably watched at least 5 times a piece each. So I've loved them. Absolutely adored it. So Dad Beat Dad just misses out on the top spot, but gets that silver medal and deserves to get that silver medal. But obviously, we've got 1 episode left. You can already tell what it is. I know a lot of people are probably expecting it, because I know it's for a fair few people their favourite as well, or at least one of their favourites. It would be in their top 3 at least. But yeah, my favourite episode of Hazbin Hotel goes to Masquerade, which is Season 1, Episode 4. What can I say about this episode that hasn't already been said by other people or by myself in the past when talking about the songs or the characters of Hazbin Hotel? It is phenomenal. From start to finish, it tackles some really dark subjects in terms of Angel Dust. You really get a good look into Angel Dust as a character and his relationship with his work with Valentino at the studio, and then his relationship with the characters at the hotel, like Charlie. I would say the big standout characters in this episode is Val, Angel Dust, Charlie, and Husk. Husk and Angel's relationship truly blossoms in this episode. They go from being, I would say, like rivals at the start, where they don't really get along, to then by the end of this episode, they're practically friends, and they're looking out for each other. I think Loser Baby, one of the best songs in all of Hazbin Hotel. I think it is probably my favourite song in all of Hazbin Hotel. It is fantastic. Husk is brilliant. Angel is brilliant. The dark topics they do, especially if you the song Poison, where you get to see what happens to Angel during his line of work. You get to see Val at his best. I don't mean in terms of what he does to Angel. I just mean in terms of like the voice acting and what they give him to do. It truly shows how menacing Val can be, and I think it is really, really good, really, really strong, and I really like it, and that's why it's easily, hands down, my favourite episode of all of Hazbin Hotel. But that is my current list of episodes in Hazbin Hotel, ranked from worst, being Hello Rosie, to best, being Masquerade. So in first place is Masquerade, second place is Dad Beat Dad, third place is Scrambled Egg, fourth place is Radio Killed the Video Star, fifth place is Overture, sixth place is The Show Must Go On, seventh place is Welcome to Heaven, eighth place is That's Entertainment, and ninth place is Hello Rosie. But yes, that is my list of ranking all the Hazbin Hotel episodes. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please like it by giving it a thumbs up and comment down below what is your favourite episode of Hazbin Hotel and what would your list be. But try to be civil, and remember, this is just my personal opinion. Your list is more than likely going to differ to mine, and that's okay. But subscribe if you're new, and for now, this is the Nerdy Grill signing off. I hope you've had an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.